$100 to sit in a room by Jack the Tack. Craigslist really came through for once. Being constantly broke, I often checked the site for odd jobs in my area paying 10, 20, and occasionally 30 bucks. 9 times out of 10, you'll be moving something somewhere for a couple of hours, maybe even making a repair. The pay's enough to keep me for a couple of days, maybe a week. And then I'm back on my phone, scrolling and hoping for something within a 10-mile radius. For the first time, I hit the jackpot last week. A job offering $100 by a group called A&A Research, which was within my area. In fact, only 3 miles away. I could walk there easily. I didn't let myself be too hopeful though. The listing seemed too good to be true. $100 to answer a few questions at their HQ. No longer than 3 hours work. I suppose they'd have strict requirements, though none were listed. A man answered when I called the supplied number. He asked if I was calling about the advertisement. I said yes, and he reeled off a few questions to make sure I qualified, he said. Nothing more in depth than my age and name. Good news, Brandon. You qualify. Got a pen handy? I do, shoot. He told me the exact address of the place I needed to be at by 9 sharp the following morning. I spent the rest of my day wishing time would move faster. I needed the cash bad. Time did indeed move fast, but only because I ended up crashing in a bed and sleeping the day away. I woke up at 7 a.m., showered and headed off. Better to be early than late, and the guy had stressed that I'd be on time. As I closed in on my destination, the butterflies began. What if they were crazies? What if the whole thing was a scam? What if? Yet, I didn't stop walking. Because, as usual, those were the risks I was willing to take for the money. At 8:45, I arrived at the address I was given. It was a thin, 3-story building with flaking white render. A small plaque on the front confirmed I was at the right place. A&A Research, entrance at rear. I made my way to the back via an alley and found a nondescript door with a small black dome above it and a handwritten laminated sign that said, "Entrance. Please come in. A&A." I went in, and apparently I wasn't the only one to qualify. There were 4 other guys already waiting. They glanced at me as I took a seat. The room was small, the chairs all lined up against one wall with a large clock opposite. Above the clock was another small black dome. I figured there were cameras. Something about being watched by people I had not met or even glimpsed unnerved me. But $100 is $100, right? To the left was another door with another sign, like the one out front. This one said, "Thanks for your patience." I made small talk with the guy next to me. He was Hispanic, a little dirty, and very chatty. He too found the Craigslist ad. We both laughed about the cameras. He said he was tempted to flip it off. "When's the money's in your hand, buddy? Has anyone come out yet? Told us what we're doing?" I asked. No one. We had just been sitting and waiting. He was here first. My new friend Rico motioned at the guy furthest from me, who was absorbed in his phone. I checked the time on my phone out of habit. It matched the one on the wall. 1 minute till D-Day. Just as the long hand crossed on the 12, another guy came in. He looked surprised to see us all, just as I probably had. He had eyed the clock, just on time, then took the only seat left. 9 on the dot, and every person in the room jumped when a voice crackled to life from a speaker I couldn't see. "Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for coming," a woman spoke. "We'll be seeing you one by one. We'll keep the wait as short as possible. I want to thank you for your time today. First will be Darren. Please head on through, Darren." Darren, the guy had been on his phone, went on through. I glimpsed a hall beyond the door, but not much else. It closed behind it with a soft click. Rico nudged me. Hope they didn't hear me talking about throwing the bird before. I winked and we all waited in silence. Darren returned about a half hour later. He breezed past us and left through the door we had come in. That was quick, I thought. The speaker again crackled to life and Rico was called in. He saluted me. "Wish me luck." Then he was gone. A small click behind him again catching my ears. Just me and 3 others were left then. I hoped Rico would take less than half an hour. It may not seem long, but I still had to wait for 2 more people. and I hate being still. Rico also took a half hour. He came out, smiled at me, and went to leave. Hold up, I called him, and he paused. What's it all about? Rico shrugged with a wry grin. They told me not to say anything. They watchin'. He thumbed the camera. And listening. He returned my wink and left. He had made the comment lightheartedly. That didn't stop it from bothering me. I felt anxious as I watched the clock and waited for my turn. Those before me went in and came out and left without a word, but I pushed any reservations down. $100 for sitting around. $100. $100. Thank you for waiting. Come on through, Brandon, a familiar voice invited from thin air. About time, I thought, yet didn't hurry. I glanced at the guy behind me. He looked bored out of his mind, then headed in. There is indeed a hall on the other side, leading to yet another door. I shut the door behind me and it clicked. I had a suspicion and tested it by trying the door handle. Locked, as I thought. So, the place was wired with intercom, cameras, and remote locks? I shrugged away the nagging feeling inside and went on. Funny how much you can ignore in the right circumstances. Behind the door was a small room with a table and a chair set up to face a board hanging off the wall. The board, it looked like caulk, was covered in different sized light bulbs, big ones in the middle, tapering out to household size on the sides. The fuck? Take a seat. Thanks, Brandon. So, she was a quizmaster too, huh? I took a seat. Thank you. I'm going to ask a series of questions for market and research purposes. Please answer all questions. Not answering is grounds for disqualification, which means you won't get paid. Alright, cool. Bit weird just talking to myself. It is a little weird, isn't it? I'm sorry, Brandon, but we'll be done quickly. Are you ready to go? Sure, but what's this thing here? That's just a light board. We're storing it in there, but won't be using it today. Just ignore it. Shall we start? Fire. I grinned at the black dome above the light board. Your full name, please. Brandon Schwartz. Date of birth? April 5th, 81. Great. Do you have any pets, Brandon? No. How long have you lived in the area? About 10, 11 years. Please be specific. Not answering is ground. Okay, sorry. 11 years. The questions went on like this for 10 or so minutes. Regular questions with humdingers thrown around every now and again. Do you have a license? Do you use public transportation? Do you like the color orange? Do you enjoy pop music? Then came the repetition. She asked if I had any pets again. I told her that she asked me that. She repeated that not answering meant no money. I had no choice but to go with it. Date of birth? April 5th, 1981. As 81 left my mouth, I heard something akin to two flat pieces of wood being slammed together. Nearly jumped out of my skin. Do you practice good oral hygiene? She continued. Yes. How long have you lived in the area? One of the smaller light bulbs in front of me lit up for just a second. 11 years. Good job, Brandon. How do you feel about the color blue? A new noise, like an old-style wooden clacker winding up. I looked around for the source. What is that? Do you enjoy rock music? How do I feel about it? I feel neutral. What's that sound? Have you ever been overseas? Another bulb flashed, then another. Hey, this thing's turning on. Not answering is grounds for— No, I've never been. Have you ever eaten pasta? Nausea bloomed in my stomach. The bulbs in the outer rim of the board were turning on in 2 and 3s randomly. What? Do you enjoy walking? One of the big bulbs, the one in the middle, flashed. It was like a spotlight. I felt myself wince, yet I didn't turn away. Again it flashed, along with the loudest crack of all. Do you own a stereo? Have you eaten purple? What day is it? What is purple? Do we enjoy rock music, Brandon? She droned on. I heard her. I understood the words, yet nothing made sense. The light bar was in overdrive, flashing, pulsing. I didn't answer. I could hardly think because of the noise. Why was it so bright? I hunched forward and dry heaved. The world swam before I got my bearings. The stain on the off-white carpet beneath my feet became familiar, along with everything else. I was home, in my apartment, sitting on the couch. What the fuck happened? Hello, this is Edge of Night. Thank you for listening to my narration. It means a lot to me. So, I have a Twitter up. The link will be in the description. And also, I'll link a Discord. It's for small community members. Whether you're an author, narrator, music composer, artist, or just a fan. Link will be in the description if you want to join. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Maybe even subscribe if you love me. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.